Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I'm Sarah Marie Verstegen, and we're going to go over chapters 9 and 10. Chapter 9 was the role of the family and friends in shaping your habits. So, chapter 9 opens up with the story about Laszlo Polgar and his huge belief in hard work. He claimed that with deliberate practice and development of good habits, a child can become a genius in any field. His mantra was a genius is born, genius is not born, but is educated and trained. This makes me think too what we talked about with the 21 laws of leadership and how a business builder doesn't just come, they're trained with skill set. So because you all read that part of the chapter, you know how the story goes. He had laid out a plan to test out his theory. He raised 3 girls and they became chess prodigies. Laszlo's plan then worked. The sisters were ranked in the top of the world, and they absolutely loved everything about chess. Now, this happened because of the culture that they grew up in. They prioritized the chess above everything else. They were praised and rewarded for their hard work and their accomplishments. Now, we as humans, we want to fit in. We want to belong. We want to respect and we want approval from our peers, and we want to bond with others and collaborate, see enjoyed safety, mating opportunities, and have access to resources. Now, the opposite is true, dating back to our ancestors who lived in the tribes, that we had that mentality that if you were an outcast, you were doomed for death. And this quote kind of has stuck with me. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. We don't choose our earliest habits, we imitate them. The environment that we grew up in plays a role in who we are today. Each culture and group, family, your friends, your church, your school has its own set of expectations and standards set. So, what holidays you celebrate, how much money you're going to pay for a birthday gift, your eating habits, work study habits, and even your relationship with God. Your behavior is guided that link back to our social norms. You're often following the habits of your culture without even thinking twice. The first example that comes to my mind is removing my car keys and locking my car at night. Now, I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota, and unless you wanted to be robbed or had your car stolen, you did that. Well, now living in a rural Wisconsin, there's only a church and a butcher shop, and people just leave their car keys right in their car. That literally scared me, and that was a hard habit to break. We imitate habits in 3 groups in particularly that we're going to go over tonight with our business. So the first one is the close, the many, and the powerful. So we are going to break down these each imitating habits and apply these examples back now to our business. So we are going to imitate the close. So proximity has a powerful effect on behavior. The general rule that James Clear states is that the closer we are to someone, the more likely we are to imitate some of those habits, the good and the bad. So let's use welcome calls, for example. My team gets on the phone with their new join. They go over goals, product schedule, questions that they may have, and then they ask the question. Okay, I know this because I have modeled it for my team. And then I ask them every single time they have a call, how did it go? What did they say to the question? How did you respond? What objection did they give you? And I know that I'm seeing this process now duplicated down to my level 2s and even my level 3s. The reason why I do the welcome calls is because my upline, Abby, did those welcome calls and still does them. And then she does these welcome calls because April has done them. And then you see how this ripple effect starts to go. The habit and the expectation has been set from the beginning. Since Abby is in close proximity with me, we talk every day. I am now in close proximity with my Tim, and we are similarly imitating those habits. Now, if you are one who does not do welcome calls, take a look at your team. Are they doing them? The odds are they're probably not. If you as a leader have not imitated that habit yourself, then the behavior is not there. We soak up the qualities and practices of those around us. One of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. So, if your desired behavior is to get IPA done in the morning, then join one of the 3 power hours that we have. Doing IPA in the morning is a normal behavior for those people who are on them. New habits seem when you see others doing them every single day. The culture that you immerse yourself in sets your expectations for what is normal. Think about the expectations you want for your team that you're building. I can tell you right now that the culture that Brittany and Christina has built is a normal desire that I desire for my team, which is why I'm immersing myself in all that it has to offer. I am kid free. We're focused on the calls, social media, and your phone are put away. I'm checking the team page daily. I'm trying to get in all the chats, and take some time to reflect on that yourself. If you say you want to build a team culture someday like this one, then are you fully engaged with what you have now? Surround yourself with the people that you want to have for yourself. You'll rise then together. When you are with a tribe like the one we have here, and we know that this is special, it's all of us are reading this book. So we are readers. We are leaders. We are confident business builders, and we do scary things. The shared identity begins to then reinforce our personal identity. This is why remaining part of the group after achieving a goal, hitting your rank, is really crucial for maintaining those habits you've created. Okay, so the second one is imitating the many. So on page 119, James Clear goes over a good analogy about a series of examples, and I will kind of put up this picture so you can see. But he used 2 cards with them, and the length of the first card is obviously the same as line C. But when a group of actors claimed that it was different length, the research of the subjects would often change their minds and go with the crowd rather than believe with their own eyes. So how to act, we always kind of look to the group and kind of what their behavior is like. We're constantly then scanning our environment and wondering, what is she doing? How is she getting so many joins? What follow-up are they using? When we go, and so then what we do is we try to go and watch the training videos, we listen to podcasts, because we want to imitate the best recruiting and duplicating strategies that we see other leaders do. Now, this is usually a smart strategy because there's evidence in numbers with this, but there can be a downside. The normal behavior of the tribe often overpowers the desired behavior of the individual. There's a tremendous internal pressure to comply with the norms of the group. The reward of being accepted is often greater than the reward of winning an argument, looking smarter, or finding the truth. So an example of this that comes to my notes out that they did 50 follow-ups that day. Everyone gets excited, but some of you guys are thinking, okay, they did that. Now I have to go do that. That usually means that then you go and you're using a copy and paste message and you're sending it to 50 people, and then you respond back in the team, the team chat, I sent out 52. That person feels accepted because they did the same thing that they see their leaders doing. I know this because I was one of them. Every time I saw Christina or April or Abby shout out what they did, I thought right to myself, okay, kids, go play because I got to go do this. And I went into reaction mode. And I tell myself that that's what they're doing. I'm doing it too. Now, from experiences with my copy and paste messages, they're not as effective always for me. I have to personalize the message. So for me, it's quality over quantity. I may not get 50. If I get 25 good ones and I get a good response rate, I'll take that. But it can be really hard. It is our natural mode to rather be doing what the crowd does than doing what's right by ourselves. You can override that though. and you can choose to ignore the group and stop caring what people think. And it takes work though. Do what works for you. James Clear states that when changing your habits means challenging the tribe, change is unattractive. When changing your habits means fitting in with the tribe, change is very attractive. Overall, it's your business. You have to choose the habits that fits best for you and what's going to move the needle forward. All right, number 3 in chapter 9 was imitating the powerful. Humans everywhere pursue power, prestige, and status. We want to be acknowledged, recognized, and praised. Historically, a person with a greater power and status has access to more resources. They worry less about survival. They usually have worry less about financial status. But we're drawn to those behaviors that earn us respect, approval, admiration, and status. The powerful people, to me, within Plexus would be our diamonds and our jewels. We want to be successful, and this is one of the reasons why we care so much about the habits of the highly effective jewels. We try to copy their behavior. I can tell you that when I first started doing this business back in April of 2020, I just had a new baby on my hands. I had a 1.5-year-old, and I still vividly remember to this day a Monday Night Live call that Christina did. And she was talking about her work ethic and how to not let your excuses get in your way from the success and taking action. She told us that how she was getting her master's, she was nursing a baby, she was teaching, raising a family, doing all the things while she was trying to build her business. And she told us all those sacrifices that she made when she could work, when she was nursing the baby at night, to going to bed early, or not early, sorry. She stayed up late and woke up early, working during her prep, lunchtime. And I can remember thinking to myself, wow, those are the actions that I have to take, because I related with her. I'm in education and she did those things raising a family. That's what I have to do. And that's what I started implementing when I first started my business. Many of our daily habits are imitations of people that we admire. We are we are also motivated to avoid behaviors that would lower our status. So James Clear uses an example that when our mother comes to visit, we clean the house because we don't want to be judged. And I can relate to that. But in this Plexus business, you could use the same example of how would you respond to objections? Are you continually wondering what others will think of me and altering your behavior based on your answer? Or are you handling that objection with fear? Or are you handling that objection from belief? How are you looking at what somebody's telling you? All right, chapter 10. So, how to find and fix causes of your bad habits. All right, in the beginning of this chapter, Clear gives examples of people quitting smoking. One of them, he read the book about that Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And the author systematically reframes each cue associated with the smoking and gives it a new meaning. Now, there are many examples in this book, but one of them that kind of stuck to mind you can apply to your business is that when you think you are quitting something, but you're not quitting anything, and instead because cigarettes do nothing for you. This same strategy can be applied to any habit. Every behavior has a surface level craving and a deeper underlying motive. Some underlying motives include conserving energy, obtaining food and water, finding love, connecting and bonding with others, win social acceptance and approval, reduce uncertainty. A craving is just a specific manifestation of a deeper underlying motive. Your brain did not evolve with a desire to scroll Facebook. At a deep level, though, you simply want to win that social acceptance. Some examples of Plexus could include win social acceptance and approval. You would then post on Facebook or Instagram. If you're wanting to reduce uncertainty, you're going to be probably searching YouTube, the team page, the Plexus ambassador pages. You want to achieve status and prestige. You're going to be participating in the giveaway chats, adding value in the team page, adding value in the team chats. Your habits are modern day solutions to ancient desires. Here's the powerful part. There are many different ways to address the same underlying motive. One person might reduce anxiety of learning the skill of cold messaging or sending out opportunity messages by diving into training videos, where another person might just avoid the task and just send out a product message or speak with people that they know of. Your habits are not necessarily the best way to solve your problems that you face. They are just methods that you learned to use. Once you associate a solution with a problem you need to solve it, you're going to keep going back to it unless you associate it with a new habit. The associations determine whether we predict a habit to be worth repeating or not. You endlessly are predicting what will happen next in that moment. Our behavior is heavily dependent on how we implement the events that happen to us, not necessarily the objective reality of the events themselves. So here's an example. Two people can go into their back office. They check the perks report and they see that someone has turned off their sub. One person will go in there and say to themselves, "Oh man, great. I lost a customer. My points are going to be even lower." The second person might open up that perks report and see this opportunity as, "Oh, she needs my help. I'm on it." Every time you perceive a cue, your brain runs a simulation and makes the prediction about what is going to be in the next moment. You see a cue, you categorize it based on the past experience, and you determine the appropriate response. These predictions lead to feelings describing that craving, urge, or desire. Feelings and emotions transform your cues that we perceive and the predictions that we make into a signal that we can apply. We sense these cues all the time, but it is only when you predict that you would be better off in a different state that you are taking that next action. So, neurologists have discovered that when emotions and feelings are impaired, we actually lose the ability to make decisions. There is no signal of what to avoid. So, a neurologist said that it's an emotion that allows you to mark things good, bad, or indifferent. So, how do we reprogram our brain to enjoy then the hard habits? Sometimes it starts with a slight mindset shift. You can make hard habits more attractive by learning to associate them with a positive experience. So, listen to how I say these actions that we take in our business. I have to do IPA. I have to set up that welcome call. I have to wake up for Power Hour. I have to be on Monday Night Live. I have to message that dream teamer. Now, when you change one word and put some meaning behind it, you can actually change the whole outlook. I get to increase my people skills and connect with new friends about my passion of health. I get to set up that welcome call and help that person start their own journey to better health. I get to wake up for Power Hour and start my day with like-minded friends. I get to be on Monday Night Live to learn and grow. I get to message that dream teamer. By simply changing that one word, I shifted how I view each event. What you are doing in your brain is transitioning. It's seeing these actions rather than as a burden, but as an opportunity. When you reinforce your habits to make the benefits stand out rather than the drawbacks, it is a fast and lightweight way to reprogram your mind and make those habits seem then attractive. If you want to take it a step further, you can create then a motivational ritual. You can practice associating your habits with something that you enjoy, and then use that cue whenever you need a bit of motivation. So, examples that come to my mind for me is that I start listening to a spiritual podcast usually every morning as I get ready. I associate with that as getting my mind set in the right place to go to my daily job. When I want to get my mindset in a space to do productive IPA, I listen to either jazz music or instrumental pop music. You can adapt your strategies to literally anything. So I literally speak out loud. I am Sarah Marie Verstegen, Diamond Ambassador, and I have value to add. And I do this before a live on Facebook. And actually, I did it tonight when I was waiting for the Monday Night Live call to open up. So to make it simpler, practice taking 3 deep breaths and smiling before you do something that makes and then do that something that makes you happy. The more you repeat this, breathing, smiling, doing something happy, you will start to associate the breathing and smiling routine as the cue and the means of feeling happy. Once it's established, you can break it out anytime you need to change that emotional state of mind. The key to fixing the causes of your bad habits is to reframe the associations that you have with them. Now, that is easier or not easy by any means. Easier said than done. I would know because I've been working on reprogramming certain predictions in my mind since November. But if you can transform a hard habit into an attractive one. All right, that leads now to discussion time. If you're on Brittany's team, stay here. Christina's nearest out, Diamond, you're gonna go to her. If you are actually under Abby, you're gonna break out to her Zoom. And if then you are under April, you're going to head over to her Zoom. If I don't see you on discussion, have a great night, ladies.